Hello, welcome to Nocti by Kali J.N.S. And today it's a little bit somber. I wouldn't say somber, but it's the energy is different. I'll say that. And it's a day after the situation with George Floyd, and about a week after the Breonna Taylor, maybe a week and a half now. So I got a message for you. And it's the last frontier. It is the last frontier. I'm going to explain what I mean by that, but it is the last frontier, black man. I don't usually have too many messages for you, but I have one today, and it is very important that you listen and that you take what you can. Not everything is going to be for you. Not everything I say is going to resonate with you, but that is okay. Something will. That I do know. And you can say that's arrogance, but something that I will say will resonate with you. And it's the last frontier. It's been a 500-year battle in this country. It's been a 1,000-year battle if you want to talk globally and universally. And it's time to strategize. What we saw, what you've been feeling, what you've been seeing. The situation with George Floyd was a lot bigger and deeper than what you think. And it is just simply time to strategize. You have to take the emotion out of it. Black man, I know you're not really prepared to necessarily understand what that even entails. But you got to take the emotion out of it. And so what does that mean? That means the tactical mind has to come into play. The tactical archetype, the strategic substratum consciousness needs to come to the forefront. And you would think that after the 1,000 years of what your ass been going through, 500 years of what your ass been going through in this society, in American society alone, you would think you would have a plan by now. But it is what it is. You don't have the plan. But the message is still for you, because the message is tailored for those without a plan. Simple as that. I'm going off the cuff just like your ass going off the cuff. So it's the last frontier. What does the last frontier mean? That means that you're at a crossroads where it's either you put up or you shut up. It's either, look, what's been going on, what's been declared on you, what's been declared, but what's emboldened and what's just straight out in the open, it's the last frontier of a 500-year battle, or 1,000-year battle if you want to get deep. So you want to think logically about every move that you take from now on. What happened with the George Floyd, you saw that. You saw the 8-minute or the 2-minute clip. And you took your ass out there protesting with eggshells and damn stones against grenade and bombs, for one. And then two, there's this pandemic. So even the clusters start within those very protests, So now is the time to be very strategic. Okay? You want to start studying tactical information. You really need to go back to the basics. And it is going to require you getting on the internet and looking up some documents that are pretty old. You have your Hannibal Barca. You have certain information that you can go and research. Okay? And also you have the spiritual alignments that need to be done. You're going out there protesting with eggshells and damn stones with no spiritual protection. And not understanding the karmic retribution that may even play a role into how things are playing out right now in the third dimensional realm. You have not petitioned your ancestors. You don't even give anything for your ancestors. Have not did any divination on how to get out of the situation or what needs to be done, and what gods need to be involved. Okay, you can't just go out there with no eggshells and no stones, during this protesting and getting shot with pellets and tear gas. Okay, so I see that go on last night. I'm watching it. I'm like, Lord have mercy. And I see everything from the spiritual realm. I am a spiritual intuitive and a oracle. I'm the last of the Mohegans. As far as being an oracle, I say that unapologetically because I know it is a birthright. It is as simple as that. So I'm seeing everything from a different realm, from multiple dimensions. And I'm telling you, you're going out there with zero physical protection, but you don't have any spiritual protection either. And you say, well, you think you're melanated and that's enough. You put too much of a I know melanin is $348 a gram right now, but the premium on that, and based off of your actions, it don't get you. You writing a check your ass can't cash, because that's not going to be enough. That's not enough on the spiritual realm. So going out there, because you don't have much physically, and come on, I'm not trying to be funny there, but you need to petition your ancestors. You need to see what gods need to be involved, whether it be Ogun, Azilidanto, Kalima, Sekhmet, Oshun, etc. The hot spirits. You're going to need more protection and more anointing than Jesus at this time. And you can say, oh, I don't know nothing about that. I'm scared. Oh, that's witchcraft. That's this. That's that. You're being a damn fool. Because what was it in the beginning? And before you got into the situation, who was there? It was always ancestors for us. And it was always the hot spirits and the orishas and the goddess energy, dark goddess energy at that. So you want to know that. And I know this seems so abstract right now, but bear with me. I will bring it all together. And it will make sense, because you have to deal with the spiritual, physical, and emotional aspects of the human being. It's not just one facet or one layer. So you may have me that's only dealing with the spiritual layer of it. And that's fine. And I, of course, will talk about some aspects of the physical and the emotional. So you get all three from me. But it is very important that you understand the time that you are in and what you need to petition. And you see, as I'm talking to you, I'm showing you these pictures of the Ogun. I'm showing you the pictures of Kali Ma. And if you don't have any information on what this is or what this is about, you want to start looking into it, because the consciousness has to change. It's not just so much the atmosphere. It's what people think in they goddamn subconscious mind. I always say this. I have so many videos talking about the subconscious mind, and I can go on and on and on. So I'm kind of tired of going through peptide addiction and subconscious programming, and I'm really tired of just talking about that right now. But what I'm saying to you is, you need to understand that 95% of your actions are unconscious, and that everything that I'm telling you has to do with shifting the collective consciousness of a people. When we talk about the code of conduct, we talk about always this code of conduct. What does a code of conduct mean? It is the collective consciousness of what one thinks, of what becomes culture. It's as simple as that. So when I'm showing you these images of the Ogun and the Izilidanto and the Kalima and your ancestors, their very ancestors who have gone before us, who are in the ground in America, They're in the ground here, and they're in the ground to where the fuck you came from, where you was stolen and sold off from. Because yes, niggas was selling other Africans. That's a fact. So where you was sold off from, and some of us was stolen from, they're in that ground too. Senegal, Gambia, Gabon, Chad, Nigeria, Congo, and of course Ghana, Benin. They in that ground too. Your ancestors is literally on a goddamn soul cord tied from here, from this land, all the way back over to damn in those places I just mentioned in Africa. Those are your ancestors. So you're going to need to reach far back in your epigenetics. You're going to have to reach so far back to get through what's coming your way and to get through what you're going through. Because I'm going to tell you now, all of the things you've been doing for the last damn 100 years, it ain't going to get you a goddamn thing. You already know that. So now no amount of drawing pictures of the little black girls, or of holding the guns and going after the artwork of the little black girl with the pink tutu with the gun in her hand, going after Ahmaud Arbery's killing, going after his killers. And no amount of on TikTok trying to sacrifice and going on Twitter to talk about how you can't stand the black woman and how you ready to sell out, in the subconscious sense. You going on goddamn TikTok. I've known everything you've done. You're going on Twitter and Facebook and making the YouTube videos about how you hate yourself and how you ain't you can't, you ready to risk it all, and how you willingly give up your ancestors and willingly turn your back on your own African pedagogy, and how you go on Twitter and Facebook and YouTube talking about how you can't stand the black woman, and how you willingly abandon 72% of your children. No amount of that is going to get you up out of this situation that you're dealing with. The last frontier, 1,000-year battle. Nope. You've been trying to tell this system in a subconscious way that you have acquiesced through your actions to the way you treat your community and your children and your woman. And it hasn't worked. Has it? You're still getting your ass smacked up and hemmed up everywhere you go when you go outside. And during the coronavirus, it's going to get worse and worse and worse, and then some more. So none of that shit worked. And now it's the last frontier. Now you really gonna have to put up, or you gonna have to shut up. And as an oracle, I'm saying these things because I know what's gonna happen. I know how it's gonna turn out. And I know that there's a lot of emotionality in the people right now, and an extreme lack of strategy and critical thinking. So we need to put the pause on it and start to look at things from a universal level. We need to not be caught off guard, and we need to be in our right mind. And another thing you need to be aware of with this situation is the ritualistic elements behind the siphoning of black energy during this time. Because when you look at that video, it's very clear that it is a blood sacrifice, and that melanated life force energy was being harnessed during this ritual. It not only is a declaration or emboldenment of what's to come, it is an attempt to be restored what is being torn down. People are desperate, and the shit is very deep. And a lot of the hierarchy and stratification that we see is being torn down by our very eyes from this damn virus. So what I'm saying is, yes, you're going to have an emotional reaction to run out and get hit with the tear gas and the bullet pellets. That is somewhat a part of the spell and the ritual. So where you're going to have your people that is emotional, but the ones who can see through the spell and ritual, you're going to have to think on a higher level. That and ain't nothing wrong with what they doing. Trust me. Going out there and having that reaction is nothing wrong with that. What I'm saying is, the ones who can strategize a little bit more, we need you now. Because your energy is being manipulated, and like clockwork, it works every time. This was some sort of weird ass ritual being done. The way that guy was looking in the camera with his foot on his neck, it was a lot deeper and a lot more serious to me. From what I see, just from as an intuitive, looking at it and assessing the situation, it was a lot more planned and a lot more sinister. It was, the energy behind it is different. You have your situations where the ego's getting away, and when these killings happen, it's always this sort of pride and degradation of the black body, of course. So we have the sinister. It's always been there. That element has always been there. So I'm not taking away from that. But what I'm saying is, when it's the energy is being used for a higher agenda, or when it's purposely planned and set out for the life force energy of a melanated person to be used in a fucking ritual. That's the aspect that I'm talking about, and that's the aspect that you need to be aware of. Again, the reactions are not wrong. All I'm saying is, be aware of the siphoning of your energy so that you can know how to strategize around it and have a more holistic approach to how you're going to deal with the situation. And I'm going to tell you the reason why this ritual was done, because the previous spells are not working anymore. It's as simple as that. There was a campaign, to like this mantra of saying that the black Americans were disproportionately dying of the coronavirus to generate a certain type of energy, and it didn't work. All the celebrities came out, Boule came out spewing this, but the reaction from you, they didn't get enough of that, because once the raw numbers were in, then you can see like, oh, okay, well, we ain't dying the most. And then all you have to do is add up all the damn numbers across the whole world, all throughout Europe, all 7 continents. Add the numbers up. I did it. Add all 7 continents numbers up. Add them all up and start seeing and compare them. And then you're going to see who really disproportionate. Because everything is a bubble. So right now you're living in an American bubble where you're being told one thing. But start looking, really expanding your consciousness and start really seeing, something ain't adding up here. And it's not that. So a lot of y'all have been doing that. A lot of y'all have been looking up all the numbers and seeing that, okay, why they so focused on us? That it didn't add up right. So that spell didn't work. And I'm gonna be honest, the Ahmaud Arbery, believe it or not, that was a ritual, because that happened 3 months ago. But now it's this big, you're trying to harness that energy. Of course, he didn't deserve to die. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is that a lot of this stuff is being planned, and a lot of it is being taken out on you as a ritual. And again, it didn't generate enough melanated energy that they need to tap into, and that needs to be siphoned. It still wasn't enough. Breonna Taylor still wasn't enough. And I'm not saying obviously from our perspective. I'm saying from the agenda's perspective, that energy that they're trying to really get into, it wasn't enough, so they have to take it a step higher. Every time our reaction is not one where we kind of giving them our attention or giving them our energy. They have to take it up a step to where they get a certain reaction. So, and it didn't solely work because of the pandemic. Then nobody was trying to get no COVID, but also because you have these rifts where the black woman she's not fully on board, slowly, because she has decided that the black men are going to be the ones to speak up this time about their indignities and be in the forefront this time. Because every other time when we did it, we felt this resentment, this disdain, and you ain't never have our backs. That's how a lot of us is feeling, you know, especially with the Sandra Bland situation and the Korean gang situation. You know, that kind of let us know how things really were when it came to the rift, when black women get killed. So at this point, and I'm telling you now, I'm keeping it real, it's going to be on you, black man. You have to get your respect back. You have to be fearless. You have to defend other black men this time. And then once we see that the passion and the zeal is there, and that the soul blueprint of the African pedagogy and that it's there, trust me, the black woman, she's sitting wondering, well, what are you gonna do? I done did enough. And you know, in your subconscious mind, the black woman has done enough. You know, we out here fighting. It's too much because we don't have the support. If we have the support, that's different. We don't have the support, so it's kind of like you gotta figure it out. What are you gonna do? It's all on you now, because you done showed us time and time again how you feel, not only about us but about these situations, because these situations been going on for about 100 years now, of the lynchings, the killings, the shootings, the stabbings, and nothing. You haven't done much of anything. So every time something happened, the black woman, she goes out there, she gets a sign, and she calls herself protesting and getting in these boys' face and telling, and no, you're nowhere to be found. She getting shot up with the tear gas and the pellets, especially in Ferguson. And I can show you several videos of what was going on down there, you know. And if you know where to be found, you on damn Twitter and damn YouTube talking about how you can't stand this and can't stand that, and not willing to stand up for your manhood. No one's going to stand up for your manhood this time. And you can sit and get upset and get defensive. That's okay. The truth is the truth. It's been 500 years of dealing with the same shit now. Of you trying to look for the scapegoat and look for the sacrifice. There is no more scapegoating this time. It's 2020. It is 2020. And I'm telling you, this is not just, it's the year. It's the planetary alignments, the constellations. Right? So it's all of that playing into role. So you have to take that into account, which you never have. All these games are playing on your mind, and you never have taken the time to start to figure out why. Because everything is rituals and all types of energies being displayed at once, all types of frequencies. And yeah, it could sound woo woo and hocus pocus, but it's the damn truth. And again, I told you I'm dealing with the spiritual aspects of it. So now this is a blood sacrifice that you can see right before your very eyes. The life force energy being siphoned in the face of multiple citizens, telling him, you know, seeing it right before their eyes. And it was on live, at which 19,000 people went into like some type of live chat, because the video was like 8 to 10 minutes long. So it's very serious at this time. So you would need to strategize. And to be honest, I don't think you know how to, and that's a part of the collective consciousness of our community not preparing that, you know. So I understand that, but you want to start to petition ancestors. You want to start asking for dreams and visions. Yes, before you plan on doing things on a physical realm, you want to have some spiritual protection. Trust me. So you want to start to petition Hannibal Barca. You want the spirit for knowledge. You want to tap into dark melanated cosmic energy. Because believe it or not, these rituals are tapping into the inverse of that dark energy. So by sacrificing melanated people, they're thinking that they can harness the energy, and it's as simple as that. So they don't have that energy, and they want something to be done quickly. So the best way to speed up the process is by killing a black person. It is very deep, and it is nothing new. And of course, there are spiritual consequences for those actions. And at this time, we have people that are not ready to accept that the universe can't hold a certain vibration anymore. And that is time's up. So you're going to start to see all of these things ramp up. All of the killings, all of the everything. You're going to see some crazy shit coming your way, I'm telling you. Because the energy is being ramped up because the vibration of Earth can't handle the vibration anymore. And people are going to get desperate. And I really pray that you can read between the lines and hear what I have to say. And I want to say this. Do you damn know that when Egypt was falling, because again, we talked about how the universe can't hold the vibration anymore. Do you know that when Egypt was falling, that there were over 1 million blood sacrifices of animals in like about a span of 1 year? What would be 1 year in their calculation of damn ibises, because they were trying to petition Thoth on other animals to appease the gods to prevent it from falling. So what's being done now is the exact same thing. They're doing it to you though, and it didn't work because the Egyptian nobility told all their sacred knowledge to the Greeks. And those same Greeks during the Hellenistic period used their own magic systems against them to destroy them. And there was nothing they can do about it because they had no business violating the universal law anyways and sharing the information in the first place. So no matter how much they were trying to get this blood, it wasn't working. So to me, and the energy that I feel behind what's going on, it's similar. So here we are at the last frontier, and I'm telling you, it's going to get bad. And I have been telling many Black Americans, I've been saying the same thing for the last 3 years, not on necessarily a platform, but just talking, you know. So we're at that place where you're going to start seeing, just like how you saw in Egypt and in Rome, textbook behavior. It wasn't the racial hierarchy involved. But in our case, we have this racial hierarchy where that is what has been given the nation power. And we talk about how did the virus get so bad here, and it's the richest country in the world. Well, who built the richest country? How did it get to the richest country? Was it the 350 years of the enslaved labor? Do we want to think that maybe had something to do with it? I'm being sarcastic here. Well, maybe that played a role in it. So how great are you when you hold back that same group that contributed? What can you really stand on if that was the contribution that made it the richest country in the world? The 350 years. Stop playing dumb. Everybody playing dumb. That's what's getting me kind of like, really? Because everybody acting like and maybe everybody's under a spell, I guess. I mean, everybody it's not just so much everybody acting. You can't see that what's going on now is the same shit that's been going on with all the empires. When shit get real, what they try to do to save itself. You always was the sacrifice, Black people in this country, and it's nothing new. When shit get real, they still trying to make you the sacrifice, especially the Black woman. Everybody trying to, and that's definitely not gonna work. So think of another plan. I'm telling you that now. Think of another damn plan because that one is not going that way. Again, so here we are at the last frontier. And I've been telling y'all that if you're not willing to get off the pot and take your ass back to Africa, I've been saying we need to go back. I think it's time to, I've been feeling that in my spirit. I'm like, something ain't right. I think for the ones that that can see through the parallel dimensions, I think it's time to get on up out of here. And the virus struck, so there will be a time to leave. There will, short period, but there will be some room, but it's not going to be like how we're thinking. So when we open back up, there are going to be many of us, and I have been seeing on these forums where after this George Floyd thing, that was they say the straw that broke the camel's back, or some saying like that. Because I saw a lot of you talking about like, I'm ready to leave. What do I got to do to get out? And yeah, I ain't never see that kind of talk before. Like, I've been spewing it from the top of my damn lungs for the last 3 years, and everybody looking at me like I'm crazy, especially the Africans, because they the ones that's running over here, and it's Black Americans. It's like, what are you doing? We trying to get out. Some of us. So when I will be talking with some of African friends, or just acquaintances rather, because I'm a genuine person, but I don't feel like the genuine or the authenticity has been reciprocated back to me, and I'm gonna be real with you, it has not been. But when I would be talking and just in conversation, and I would say something, we just talking, and they would be looking at me like, bitch, because they don't understand the generational degradation and the epigenetics that play a role in how it will affect. Basically, there's nothing at this point. Is not no damn amenities in Western society and education that can make you sell your soul for the amount of degradation that we've been dealing with over here for the last 500 years. It's just not no amount that can make you want to put up with that, because you feel it in your gut. No one will ever understand what the foundational American Black, the FOB, foundational American Black, the Fabian, the Kafaume, the Judah, the goddamn Thuya people have been dealing with for the last 500 years. And I don't care what you call yourself. I don't care if you call yourself ADOS, Black, African American. I really don't care. No one, if you've been here for you've been on that 1860 census, but you've been here since the 1619 and even before then, because you got to figure a lot of the Melungeon tribe got mixed in with us, unfortunately, and those were the dark Native Americans who have direct bloodline to Africa, who traveled here first, because we know that the first navigators were from Africa around the world. And yes, they did come to North America first and settled 10,000 years ago. And they were very dark, and they did get mixed up with us. And we know that there was laws to even try to differentiate them for when it was like colored Native Americans versus the Negro. They had to have like papers. They gave them special papers. But before those special papers got passed, what you think was happening? Them Native American Melungeon tribes were getting enslaved. And it was so many chiefs and pushback. They were like, you're enslaving us. You're mixing us up with the African American. We were the African Americans at that time. We were just Negroes, slaves. You're mixing us up with them. So, we need papers to specify our ethnicity. So that happened. So you got to figure some of your bloodline is tied. And what I'm saying is, no one is going to understand what we've been through. Everyone is judging us. Everybody low-key envious, and it's a lot of things that go with that hostility that we deal with. Because again, anybody that hates you for no reason, yeah, it's some envy going on. Trust me. And that's anybody in your personal life that you felt was a damn hater for no reason, and you didn't do nothing to them, it's usually tied to jealousy. And even if it's not jealousy, it's something deeply wrong with their insecurity issues. So, you know, the African American, the Fabian, ADOS, the Foundation, whatever you call yourself. You're dealing with all types of stuff. And you see that there is not any amount of materialism that can brainwash you into... I mean, let's be real, a lot of Black Americans did fall for that, for one. But it's not enough to make you feel like this is worth it. And I say this because a lot of you have been saying, you know, well, I've been here for 500 years. This is where I am from. This is where my ancestors were. And this is where we're from. And they were here because you were enslaved here in a prison. So look at your position after 500 years. So that tells me that this situation was never built for you. And it was never designed for you, possibly. I mean, come on. Seriously. You got a little more trinkets, but the soul blueprint is still degraded. So your ancestors made this sacrifice for staying alive in slavery for 350 years. I'm not focused on slavery. Trust me, I'm not. I focus on what was before. Trust, you know, so I'm not trying to get you into that vibration. But I'm saying that don't think that them ancestors stayed alive for 350 damn years so that you could just be here getting your ass smacked up and getting abused. They did that so that you would have the chance to go back because they live in us. Our ancestors are living in us. And we are the ones to bring them back home. So I really believe that they kept it going so that they knew that one generation would have enough sense to say, I think it's time to go back. Again, some of you have already been here, and some of you have never been enslaved. That is true. So maybe the ones that are saying that we've already been here, maybe you're the one that already know that. I think my ancestors were the ones that weren't. I really do. I think maybe some of them. I know a lot of them are Europeans because of the MGM situation, the multi-generational mixed situation that 95% of African Americans find themselves in. So maybe you got a little bit of that, but for me, my ancestors tell me we back somewhere else, and it's not necessarily here. And again, they live in us, so they're in the ground here. You know, at least 500 years back, and just like they are in the ground here, they are in the ground in Senegal, Nigeria, Benin, Congo, Chad, Gabon, and Ivory Coast. Because that is where you were stolen from and where you were sold off by the Baviotes. So if you don't hear me now and figure out a strategy of what you're going to do, whether you stay here or you're ready to go, you're going to be gnashing at the teeth. And many of you are going to be running into the damn ocean waters to swim back somewhere, whether it's to the Caribbean or back trying to get your ass back to Africa. And I really believe that's how bad it's going to get. And I hope I'm wrong, you know, shit. But I really think that in my soul that's where we're at the last frontier with this. And there's very specific reasons why I believe that I can't necessarily disclose. I can't. As a spiritual intuitive, I can't disclose all of the visions and prophecies and visions that I have saw in my mind. I'm not at liberty to, and I wouldn't be able to describe the situation in words anyways, even if I wanted to. You know? So you want to be obsessed with amenities and be brainwashed to hate yourself and be brainwashed to try to delude yourself into what's going on here. You're really going to see that I was right all along about what you need to do. That you need your spiritual protection and that you need to strategize and you need to think of a plan whether you're going to stay or leave. This is all I'm saying. Because a declaration has been made with that video, and that declaration had more packs tied to it, more again, because to me it was all I saw was a ritual, to be honest. So it was a lot of packs in there to try to keep the order in place, because the black man, he's on TikTok so much and damn Twitter and damn all of these distractions, that they can't realize that the world around him is scrambling to get people back in line and to distract the people and to harness the hearts and the minds and consciousness of the people. So all that's going around, and you're still brainwashed, and people are just realizing, let's harness that energy. Let's get that in. And it's not just, it's black women too. Let's get their energy, because they the only people that's out of their mind right now, that can't see what's really going on here. And what can we do to ensure that the racial hierarchy stays the same? Because this virus has brought whole world economies to its knees. So before you start to get in ideas, they trying to usher in, ramp it back up, do what they got to do to try to keep you from waking up. All this is to prevent you from thinking on a universal level of what you need to do in the aftermath of the virus as men on the global playing field. And I'm telling you now, all that childish shit and all that infantilism and trying to sacrifice the black woman and abandoning the children and ancestors will work for you. No amount of selling out the people, that what you have done for the last 60 years, that don't work no more. You have tried to do these salamander spells to try to win some time and buy some time here in this system. That don't ran out, because the situation is above your pay grade now. It's above you now. So the spells against the universe have failed, and now it's the last frontier. The last frontier is truly upon us, black man. So this is it. So your actions will determine the fate of the black man for the next 500 years. Don't worry about the black. Well, you should be, because everything you should have been doing should have been for the black woman, but it hasn't. But at this point, you have no idea what and who the black woman is. So you wanted to detach yourself from us. So don't worry. All I'm saying is, I already know what's going to happen with the black woman. This is the first and the last. And that being is something that you don't even understand, but you would think you would, but you don't understand. So you need to what are you going to do for yourself at this point? Because she had already been trying to get out there and do the little protest and fighting these men with they damn grenades, and they've been going out there to the front lines and with the afros and the hair and the picket signs and all this stuff. When you still didn't get it together then. So what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? So because what you do, not what the black women, what you do, not what black people do and black children do, what you do is going to determine your fate for the next 500 years. Because in this system, women, that's a whole nother video. You don't understand what women are. That has always been your downfall as men. You don't understand the role that women play behind the scenes and what women are doing on a spiritual level. Because all of this patriarchy is being fought over women, or over the concept who can control the reproduction aspects of the human race. But it's been the men doing the bidding of the women. So you're in over your heads with this, but you still got some time to turn it around. You don't have much time. Like, you literally don't have much time. You have a lot of catching up to do, and you better get like the doggone tribe. You better tap into some serious power in order to catch up. That's all I gotta say. So you want to tap into your spiritual powers and your African gods on this one. You want to ask for directions on what needs to be done. You need to give the proper offerings. You need to be righteous and do the right thing on the physical realm, not to yourself and to your bloodlines and to your ancestors, so that you can restore your power. Because spiritually, you have lost a lot of that power and you don't even know it. You have lost a lot of protection and a lot of anointing because of a lot of the Bhaviyoti energy has been going on for the last 1,000 years, and you think you're doing something on the physical realm, but you have no idea what you're doing on the spiritual realm. So a lot of your spiritual protection, because of your actions against yourself, your children and your women, Africa, and your ancestors, you have did a lot of karmic. You have a lot of karmic retribution coming your way, and I'm just keeping it real with you. Whether the system stay the same or it don't, whether the dominant society stays here or it doesn't, you still have that energy coming towards you. And I'm going to break that down in the video of how we even got into this situation. And your eyes are going to be open, and it's not to bring up the past, but you need to know what happened so that you can prevent it again, and so that you can have true wisdom and learn your lessons and have your understanding of what needs to be done going in the future. So again, what are you going to do? Because what you do during this time is going to dictate the fate of the black man for the next 500 years. Still going to be the bottom? Or are you going to rise? Are you going to ascend to your consciousness? Are you going to follow your soul blueprint? I always talk about the black woman's soul blueprint because that is the work that I do. I talk about how to get the black woman back into her goddesshood and back in alignment with her natural self, because I'm a woman, and that's the work that I've been called to do. But what about you? As the women who give birth to men, I know what's going to happen, and I know we subconsciously know. I'm not going to tell you, and we're not going to tell you. This is on you. Don't think that you're on your own, but a lot has been done. Too much has been done to where things have to play out the way they're going to play out. So you're really going to have to petition, and you're going to have to get back to your soul blueprint, that the black man's soul blueprint. You're going to have to really discover yourself again. And what you think you're doing in America, that is not your soul blueprint. So you need to go deep. I done showed you these damn pictures. As I'm talking, I'm showing you these pictures of various entities and energies. Do you see this man right here? This man right here, Thomas Sankara. Do you see that? I'm showing you this man. Now this is a real man. This is the phenotype, the prototype of the black man. Him right here. And the black woman's fault was she didn't clone this man. She didn't get in her science and start doing some gene splicing of this being right here. Because I'm telling you now, if y'all was like this man, and y'all talking about the black woman don't want to submit, and she don't want to do this and she don't want to do that, get like him, and you ain't gonna hear not a goddamn thing from these women out they mouth. Because this is what is in our subconscious mind. This is why the black woman is secretly very obsessed with the black. Even if she doesn't want to admit it, I know her obsession with the black man stems from her images of men like this. Thomas Sankara. She still thinks that in the 2020 that there are still men walking around like this. And I know they're not. But what I'm telling you is you better get on your study. And you better start researching. And you better start learning about what I'm telling you about. I done showed you the damn pictures of Ogun. And I done showed you the pictures of Kali and Ezilidanto. You need to start getting into your soul blueprint again. And look at these pictures. I done showed you the pictures of dark energy, melanated energy, which is the energy of the universe. Because what makes the sky appear blue with those white clouds is the sun, right? So if there's no sun, you take away the sun, what do you have? Darkness. The sun is what is making everything appear lighter in the daytime. But behind that sun, what is it? Well, behind the sun, what is there always? Dark energy, dark matter, universal energy. And what does that sun activate on planet Earth? What does that sun grow? It grows the dark soil. It activates the dark soil to grow green ass plants and trees out the damn ground, right? And what does that sun do to your melanin? It activates your damn vitamin D, stimulating your immune system. So that sun is interacting, going around on its axis, turning. Well, we're going around the sun, rather. The earth is going around in its axis. And it is rotating. But behind that sun is always darkness, dark matter, dark energy. And anything that's dark on this earth is getting its energy from what? The sun. So you better wake up. You want to be self-hating and try to excuse me. You want to be self-hating and try to follow your way out of this? No. Nothing you do is going to get you from the karmic retribution of this 1,000-year battle. The last frontier. This 1,000-year bullshit that you've been trying to run away from. You know? So you see this man up here. You have your Thomas Sankaras. You have your Ogun. You have your ancestors. You have your dark goddess energy that you don't really ran away from. You're probably running away from me talking this message now. And that's fine. Because the black woman's here whether anyone's here or not. And you want to go study evolutionary biology if you need some information up on that and what I mean by that. Okay, this is planet Earth here. This is not the myths. This is not the media, the delusions, the greed and the hatred that the human possesses inside of his consciousness. None of that works on the rims outside of the 3D and 2-dimensional rim. That don't work on no 5-dimensional rim, 7th dimensional rim. Everything that you've just been brainwashed, completely, utterly destroyed in your consciousness. So you don't have much time to get it together. Okay? So we done seen these weird ass killings of melanated energy, siphoning of the energy. Breonna Taylor and George Floyd and Omar Arbery and all these things. They have been happening. They started in 2012 with the Trayvon Martin and the Eric Garners and the Michael Brown. What's his name? Brown, I think his name. Yes, and then Stefan. What's his name? Castillo. Something with something this Castillo. I forgot his name, so forgive me. But all of these things, and it died down, and that was solely because of the Obama energy. That was a backlash of the that had nothing to do with what's going on now. These rituals that's being done now has to do with the coronavirus, and there's a lot of fear, and the energy is way different than what was going on under the Obama era, because that was just backlash of thinking, you know, of asserting power in the face of what the image of what Obama was representing at the time. But what you have now is something completely different. To me, the energy is different. And I don't know if y'all can feel it. Maybe it's just me. But the energy behind what is going on now is a lot more ritualistic and desperate, I would say. Like, it just feels different. So be aware of that. Be strategic. Be on your guard. Love yourself. Get out of that low self-esteem. Please get out of that low self-esteem. start to look towards your blueprint, your bloodline, your ancestors, your gods to make it through. Start asking for an increase in protection, an increase in knowledge and wisdom, so that you can do what you need to do for the next 500 years. Because we're at the last frontier. And it is not just what's going on in this country. We're talking about globally. Things are happening. And things are going to continue to happen. And they're going to get real. That's all I would tell you. So, no pain, no fear. Love yourself. Anything that you've been doing that ain't work, stop doing it. Be logical, be strategic, and understand what the soul blueprint is. It's going to require research, and it's going to require quick research. You ain't going to have time to be spending, 10 years on that. Hurry up and do some research and strategize. That's all I can say. So, this video was a heavy one because of the George Floyd stuff was on my mind. The baby Breonna Taylor was on my mind. Nobody deserves to have that happen to them. Nobody deserves to live like that. Or even come on. Look. It's time. And that's all I gotta say. It is time, and what are you gonna do? What you do will determine your fate for the next 500 years. Like I said, this is for you, because you're the one that detached yourself from your ancestors and from Africa and from the black woman and from your children. So, so you know how we say, stay blessed and peace. We'll say 100 and all that stuff. What you need to say is stay strategic. So no more stay blessed or one love and all. Stay strategic during this time. Stay strategic. So that's what I'm going to leave you with. Okay? Stay strategic. Bye.